to say that you want to go into the acting industry and therefore you need to go and do BBL, that's something
That's a you problem.
that's a you problem. You've bought into some sort of stereotype and some sort. And then tell me, can a BBL body shape type person? This is not about the body shape. Is it every single role that type of that body type can play?
So Shayo, what are you hoping to unbox tomorrow?
Money. I don't know. What am I hoping to unbox? I can't say that I've actually wanted much this year. It's been a good year, so I'm grateful. I think if anything, I just want to thank God to end well and in Jesus' name make it to the new year, because this dirty December,
It's not dirty.
it's dirty. Everywhere, trick. Everything's expensive. Just God.
Miss
Shining me
Ireti, what
as a-
about you? Is that something that has been on your Christmas wish list? There, like,
No,
I hope
I've
I
had a
get
really
this.
great year. I've had everything on my wish list. I'm happy. Is there more? Any more extra that comes? Anything will be received with joy.
With joy.
Yeah.
I love that. And to our audience out there, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I'm really, really in the festive spirit, and I hope everybody is out there eating some really nice jollof rice, fried rice. Wait, is it jollof rice or fried rice that we cook for Christmas? I feel like fried rice is more Nigerian Christmas food.
turkey and potatoes with gravy and
Shy-
stuffing. That's what me I know. I don't know this
This-
jollof
now-
rice. These
now-
potato
that
and
is
turkey.
That is some Oyibo food that you are eating there. Please, jollof rice, fried rice, turkey, chicken, and coleslaw. That's it. So I really hope
That's
everybody.
traditional Christmas food, yeah?
That's a traditional Christmas food. No?
Okay.
What's
your traditional Christmas food?
I do a wide variety. I like to cook. Different things. There'll be Onyibo, there'll be Niger. Jollof rice must be there. Some pasta dish. Plenty of protein. Because I'm going to cook just once. And then sit
Very
down
true,
and watch
and then
people
just
eat.
enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope everybody out there is enjoying and having a very fantastic Christmas, because we're super excited. I feel like this is my Christmas gift. I feel like that's where people queue in. Aww. Backstage, can we have my please? Thank you. This is my Christmas gift, and I'm really, really excited about this episode because, like I said, I've been starstruck since you walked in, and yeah, I know probably like being you, you're like, what's this girl saying? But I know how I'm feeling. Don't worry. So yeah, I'm definitely starstruck. I'm we're super excited to have you on this episode, to be able to sit down with you and talk to you, because there are a lot of questions I have, a lot of questions she has. I know there's some things we're going to learn a lot today. And I just think that it's going to be a very wholesome conversation that's perfect for the spirit of Christmas. So let's get into it. Wow, I just like how I just went off like, I'm smart, sha. So yes, please, Ma, I don't think I'll be able to do you justice, so let's have your introduction.
Oh my word.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
not fair. No.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hey. The short form is, my name is Ireti Doyle. I'm an actor, writer, producer, presenter, human being.
I love it. A well-rounded person. Wait, we're supposed to do that introduction thing. When our guests introduce themselves, we give them ad-libs.
Okay,
So can I say your name again, please?
Okay,
Yes, we have to do it.
My name is Ireti Doyle. No, you guys are kidding.
And yes, like you said, you're a presenter, an actor with over 2 decades of experience in the entertainment industry. Like you said, you've seen many lifetimes. You've seen a lot of things. You've experienced, not even just you've seen, you've lived. You've acted. And I feel like acting is, when you're acting, from what I've heard, you enter like a different space. You become that person. And how has it been? Like, did you willfully set out to enter the entertainment industry? Like, oh, I study theatre arts, I study creative arts, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actress? Or it's something that you just woke up one day and decided, or an opportunity came along and you went into it?
I've never been asked it that way before.
I'm happy to be your first.
Because there's a slight distinction in your question. Did opportunity present itself? Always. I could do it easily. Primary school, when I got back from America, primary school, they're doing something, they will put you there. I could always act. Was it a conscious thought in my head at the time? No. I think it became a conscious thought in my late 20s. And it was a light bulb moment. I knew that that was what I was created to do. One of the things. But you're created to do many things, but that's the one that my heart grabbed. And from that moment, it was actively pursued. It was all I could talk about. And you know how things work. You want a thing, you keep talking it.
Keep manifesting.
The more you talk, the more you walk in that direction. The more you meet people. And yeah, from that point, it was actively pursued. Actively pursued.
What was your cause? Like you started in your late 20s. I feel like we're in a different generation now than we are like back then. Back then, it's, oh, if you're not a lawyer, a doctor, or a banker, I don't want to hear this, especially from family and
Mm.
parents. But now we have people saying, oh, I'm into tech, I'm an actress, I'm a skit maker, I'm a makeup artist, I'm a fashion designer, I'm a stylist. What was, would I say, your family's reception to it?
Well, at the time, I was living alone. I was working and
Okay.
schooling at the same time, so I was pretty much my own person. Um, there wasn't any parent figure to say no, you can't do this or you can't do that. So I didn't have those challenges.
What about friends? Were they
I
supportive
was,
or?
I couldn't say it out loud for a long time.
Hmm.
Not, I don't even know why. Now that I'm thinking about it, but
Why?
I was just embarrassed to say it. And I remember the first time, but you know what? When something is gnawing at your very insides, I couldn't sleep. I just wanted
So,
to act. So I remember that the first time I would utter the words, it was to a friend of mine, and it was like, "You've been moody, you've been cranky. What is it?" And I think there's some people who CC you, and they have a bit more experience with human, so he knew what was going on. So what do you want? What do you want? There's something you want. And I said, I'm still embarrassed to say because I didn't say I want to act. I said something else.
what did you say? What did you say?
I said I want to be a star. That's what I
I love
said.
that.
But you know, that is very, like, see, I feel like that's who you are now.
Yeah.
That was the
You're-
It
first
was
thing
a
that came out
declaration,
of my mouth.
yes.
I said I want to be a star, and he said, "Okay, okay." Thankfully, he didn't laugh at me. He now says, "Okay, what does that mean? What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to act." He said, "Hey, now we
Now we know
know.
how to. No, you want
Now
to
we
be a star, but
know."
this is how we're going to go
So
about it.
yes, hey, so who do you know in the industry? How do you know? I was in Jos at the time. Everything that was happening in Lagos. Well, the big things were
Happening in
happening in
Lagos.
Lagos. Um, and then school was on strike. I can't remember what happened first. 1995 happened first. Before 1995, there was this show in Jos, Behind the Clouds. It was very popular back in the day, extremely popular. If there was social media, it would have gone,
Viral.
what do you call viral, and it would have, been one of the way people used to talk about Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how that
Ooh.
was the show, Behind the Clouds. You can ask people who are old enough to remember. Um, and then they came. Was that shade? Did I say something wrong? I'm sorry. Was
No,
that?
it
Did that
wasn't.
come
No,
off?
it wasn't. No, it wasn't shade, but I feel bad. I don't know. It's because I
I
feel
mean,
bad.
let
That
me
I
be
it's
feel,
so.
honest. I saw you have your profile and stuff. They didn't have a picture of it. So I was like, I don't even know how to start looking for this thing because
Wait. No, but it is a really old show.
Oh,
But
no,
there were really nice shows back in the day. I'll give you a list, and
Thank you. Yes,
if you can
please.
find them, you
I
could
feel there are
watch
lots
them, and
of
then
YouTube.
especially
On
you that you
YouTube.
say you like old Nolly.
No,
And this was way before. This was before Nolly was Nolly. Do you get? They were done by independent producers. Anyway, Behind the Clouds, and I got auditioned for the show, and I got a role. Hey,
I
Omo,
can
do you
imagine.
know? And then I had this friend who is kind of like, it was a situation where, oh, you do the audition, a couple of days later they tell you get the role, and they now tell you that, oh, we're coming for you on Saturday, the same way they put you on standby and everything. So it was like a week apart. And I had this friend, and she did everything. I can say that now with hindsight, but at the time it didn't seem that way. I mean, she was my good friend. By the time she was done with me, I didn't want to do the show again.
What?
Yes. Why you shouldn't do the show? The lead actor at the time had died. Arthur, beautiful boy, and there was a lot of funny stories making the rounds and everything. And she chipped at my confidence.
So do you think that was from a good place or it was from a place of
Of course,
spite?
it was from a horrible place.
Ugh, wahala.
Of course, it was. It was not from a good place. So I began to second guess myself, and it never. It was not a case of, oh, you're not good enough. No, it was circumstantial stuff. This, that, I should look at this. And within a week, I had talked myself into not doing the show. So I will never forget the day. So they come in their bus, all the actors loaded in the bus. What was supposed to be my big
Your big
moment.
break,
That would have
yeah.
been my entry into the industry.
Was that your first role?
First role I would ever, proper role that I would audition for.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Sadiq Daba. Tell me you know Sadiq Daba. You don't know Sadiq Daba? All right. So Sadiq Daba, one of our best. He was on NCA back in the day. Brilliant actor, but he's passed now. He was a producer, one of the producers. So he comes out, blah, blah, blah. Are you ready? And I walk up to him. I see it like day. And I go, I've changed my mind. And he looked at me. You know how he looked me in the eye, packed me from head to toe, and just turned around. I walked into the bus. Baba, let's go. He didn't say one word to me. Fast forward like 15, 20 years later. He's starring on a show. I'm starring on Tinsel. He's starring on Hotel Majestic. These are modern day shows on African Magic. And this season they want to do a cross pollination. They take one actor and bring her. So they now decide that it's my character going to Hotel Majestic. And they give me the sides for the day, the script for the day. And I have to act opposite Sadiq.
Oh wow. That's.
Did he recognize you? Were you like, oh, you've come back?
So I was like, okay, it's been 20 years. Maybe he won't remember. Of course he will remember. You know what, Ireti, take the bull by the horns. This, you know, man up. So he comes out, he's chilling. Sadiq Daba was a star, very full. You know, sitting down and on his throne and just being Sadiq Daba. So I now summon courage, walk up to him. Good afternoon, sir. Hello, yes, good afternoon. I don't know if you remember me, but we had an instance. Oh, we did we? Yeah. What was it? And I take him through the story. I said, Ireti.
He remembered.
100%.
He remembered, and he said, you had a very, very bad friend.
Wow.
That girl wasn't your friend.
If you don't mind me asking, are you still friends with that person?
Of course not.
Okay.
That friendship ended like a year or two later.
Okay, as it should have.
Yeah. Yeah, I said you didn't have a good friend, but I knew you would do well should you ever find your way in, and here you are. And we went on to have a wonderful shoot and even work on another project together as his wife, as husband and wife, before he passed.
His soul rest in peace.
Amen.
I think it's really important having whatever you're doing. It's really important to have like a very good support system, especially for jobs and roles that are not ordinary. Things that put you out there where there's like a whole lot of pressure. Opportunities.
You need that one person that will say, even if truly you're not fully equipped, somebody will say, what's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen?
Go and try. You need people. You need at least one person like that in your corner. I hope everybody finds
someone like that. What I tell people is that the worst anybody can tell you is no, to be honest. And you get used to it at some point. If they tell you no, okay, you move on to the next
thing.
And you figure it out. So you said you wanted to be a star and you wanted to act. And I need to know what attracted you to that. Did you have like a background of like thespians, or you just used to watch and think, oh, this is me, or I see myself being here?
It's a hybrid of the two. My mom My mom was always in the media. In fact, she
Mm.
studied mass communication. And if she had made different choices, that would have been the beginning of, you know, she would have been in front of the camera, and then I would have been able to say, oh, I'm following my mom's footsteps. But she's always had that. She was always an entertainer. But more importantly, like I said, I could always act. It was something that came naturally. But the turning point, I came home from work. I was working with the Industrial Training Fund. I worked as I schooled. Um, and I came back from work, and I switched on the TV, and there was this show called Mind Bending. It was produced by Lola Fanikayode, which was she was. I wonder what she would have been doing now if she was still around. She was really, really ahead of her time. You know, she produced a number of really sexy shows. So this story was about a husband and wife, and the husband was on drugs. Blah blah blah. I won't bother you with the plot. I can't remember who played the husband, but I will never forget who was playing the wife. It was Joker Silva. Auntie J. No, and I sat there and I was watching it. And Auntie J put me in the palm of her hands. I felt every single emotion. I went on such an emotional roller coaster. This woman, and she didn't free me till she was done, till the end of the episode. It was like, I'm like, that's what I want to do. That's it. I could never, I never knew, but that moment, it was like, yes, that's it. That's what I was born to
I think
do.
that's the power of a good actor or actress, to be honest. I feel like sometimes watching some movies or some shows, it's like really hard to connect with the story or like the experience. But when you find an actor or an actress that can just pull you in and you're like, why are you doing this? Like,
But
stop
that's
doing
the
this.
whole point of a
That's the
movie.
whole point of it. Like, you want
To draw you in,
take you through the highs and
Yep.
the lows.
carry you and make you believe in my emotional
And
journey.
emotions, yes. People think acting is easy. I feel
It's
like these days
not.
everybody just thinks, oh, it's not to go there and do this. Till like
And
even
talk.
recording
So they
voice,
go there and
Yeah.
it's
And
time to do it.
it's time to do it and it's hard.
Even learning lines, memorizing it, knowing when to, sometimes I help with lines, like stand to the side. They're like, that's an action, it's not a line. Like even to actually like just learn lines, it's difficult. And like, I just want to touch in. So you wanted to be a star and you are like, when we even met, you were like, I'm not gonna lie. Before you came, we had a prep talk in the bathroom. I was like, okay, we
Oh
got
my
this. We got
goodness.
No,
100%. I'm
come
not
on.
even
Yes,
capping.
you
Like
did.
I was like, you're just, and with you, I've watched you. I still watch you. Like I was even saying, like one of my favorite movies of you is 50, and I just love how you embodied that role. Like
Thank you.
that's a sis. I'm
Thank
coming
you.
when I reach there. Oh baby, like, and I watched 50. Even like, when you watch something, you forget that you're like, oh, this is a real life story. Like I'll just like, have you seen? And like I said, meeting you, and I'm like, wow, you are an actor. Like meeting you now and looking at all the other things I've seen you in, even Wedding Party, and I'm like, I don't know how you've embodied it or how you do it, or I don't even know, but you're a star. So can I ask, like, what do you want to be now? Because that star one achieved gone.
Yeah.
What do I want to be now? That's the question I've been sitting with for about a year or two now. Because 20, 25, 30 years ago, I set out to be a star actress. We're here now. And you're allowed to have different dreams.
Definitely.
While I can't give you the specifics, or maybe I can articulate the specifics in loose terms, and I choose not to at this time. I want a bigger life. I love my life. I just want more of it, and more of it on my own terms.
Yeah.
So yes, I would still be in the business, but on my own terms, pushing my own titles, producing my own stuff, being my own boss.
As it should be. I love the fact that you're not comfortable with where you are now. You want bigger. I don't know. I think I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I want more.
Yeah, you want more.
I want
some
more.
people,
I'm very. Don't get me wrong. I am
No,
blessed, and I'm
yes,
not
no,
even saying
definitely.
that as a, I'm. It's not just about speaking positive.
Mm,
I am so blessed. I have an amazing body of work. If I had arranged it myself, I couldn't have arranged it so perfectly. And
mm,
starting out, it didn't look like that. It didn't look that way.
Mm.
I'm what you would refer to as a late bloomer. Do you get? I nearly 2 years into this career, I nearly threw in the towel, and I convinced myself I had picked the wrong career because things weren't happening
Mm.
as quickly as I expected them to.
Mm.
Um, but with hindsight, my path is completely different, designed differently,
Mhm.
for reasons yet that I'm yet to fully decipher. So I'm still on that adventure. I've,
mm.
Can I
w- yeah, go
can
ahead.
I ask, when you were going through that period, how did you keep yourself going? How do you motivate yourself? Because we spoke about trolls and we spoke about comments, we spoke about even constructive feedback. And honestly, what you said to me, I feel like I'm gonna have a completely different outlook on
I hope
things.
so.
A
I hope,
hundred
yeah,
percent.
that's the
Like,
whole point of rubbing minds and having these conversations. I've learned a lot from you ladies. You've taken me. You have no idea, but we will have this conversation again.
Yes,
Don't worry, we'll have this conversation again.
definitely.
To answer your question, how did I keep myself going? I had a job. I had a really good job. I had a fancy job. I've always had to. I've always been independent, and I've
Mm.
always needed some level of control over my life. And the only way you can have some sort, we don't control anything. Some
Mm.
things you can't. The life is not even yours, really. It's
Honestly.
on loan. However, things like earning your own income, no matter how small, while it might not plug all the holes,
Mm.
at least you can make some choices.
Mm.
You can take some decisions. You have some level of autonomy. So I had a job. I had a very good job. I always worked. My first salary after graduation was 6K as a production assistant.
Mm.
But I was also acting on the show. I was writing on the show. So I was earning as an actor, I was earning as a writer, and then you give me my 6K
You're
monthly
6K.
stipend.
You're an entrepreneur. Woo.
Yes, and then I learned how to present
Mm. How did you learn that?
by watching.
Mm.
Um, at that point, all I wanted to do was act. So I want to act. But the acting roles are not coming as they should, and so
Mm.
we
You
have
have to
to
find
pay. We have to
alternatives.
pay bills, right? Fortunately for me, I was working with someone who recognized talent.
Mm.
So one day we sit down and says, okay, we're going to design 2 shows. You design a fashion show, me, I'll design this show. I'm like, me, design show. Ah, you know. I said, we'll design it together. We sat down, came up with a name, came up with a concept, and then he plopped me in front of a camera. Oh, mother dear.
Mm.
If divorce was an option, that would have been the day that we would have gotten divorced. It was so that's my ex-husband, by the way. Um, Patrick. Yes. So he put me in front of the camera and it's like, oh yeah, we wrote the script together. Oh yeah, say these lines. To look into the camera. Looking into the camera is
Sis.
probably one of the most difficult things to
Honestly.
do until nobody tells you. Before I could shoot that thing, he got so frustrated. He would shout, he would pet, he would encourage. Okay, just do it. All right, good take, but you're looking stiff. And with
Relax.
every subsequent take, it's getting more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was anger,
Mm.
and they had finally prodded my pride. That's how I managed
To get it.
to get in a successful take, but that kind of broke the ice, and that's how we birthed Oge with Ireti, my fashion show that
Yes,
ran
ma'am.
ran for well over a decade, on several channels. So I became a presenter. And if you can do that and you do that every week and you have great communication
It just
skills,
gets
it's
easier.
just, it's one step to being an MC, to being a public speaker, to be able to presenting a live show.
It's also having like great oratory skills, to be honest, because
Exactly.
yeah,
And if you're intelligent and you have a quick grasp of topics and you're
Well
you're light
versed.
on your feet, So I was presenting today on STV. That was the breakfast show, their flagship breakfast show on Silverbird TV for about 2 years. So I had a job. I was earning money, but I was still hungry because you know I wasn't I wasn't pursuing my passion.
Mm.
Fortunately for me, and because God was arranging my matter, He has my time. He was arranging my matter in a particular way and said, "This child, I have told you, your way is not like
It's not
everybody's
your
way.
way,
Chill." His word says, "Thou prepares the table before me." Give him time to
give him
dress
time.
the table well.
The same man proposes, God disposes.
Just
Yeah.
wait, be patient. But you can't say that to a young person
Oh no,
who's
definitely.
chomping at the bit and who just wants to go.
Definitely.
All valid. So again, you recognize all of this with hindsight. In the moment, you're caught up in your feelings. Somehow, a project will always come along. They will climb 7 mountains and swim 7 seas to get to
Just
me.
to get to you.
But that project will find me and they will be like, we want you to play this role. And it will be such a huge project. The echo of it will last for a year or 2 or 3 till the next
Till the
one
next one
comes.
comes.
And I'm talking about Sitanda, across the Niger, people who are conversant with Nigerian films from way back. All of these were landmark. Sitana, for instance, was the first Amsterdam Malta box office film that they produced. It was a major hit. I think we're nominated for 11 awards that year at AMA.
That's huge.
Across the Niger, Kingsley were a major hit. Another big talking point. It had Peter Edochie and it was about the Civil War. Then which other one? It was all about Eric. There would be that project that will put the spotlight on me and kind of remind people that okay, there's this actress somewhere. Yeah, we know she can act. And then many years will pass and I will do my job. But I also had a mentor, the late Amaka Igwe. You know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot that one. That one I forgot.
We're ready now. We're ready now.
That one I forgot. Anyway, she was a mentor to me. Not just an industry mentor, but like a big sis. I was a young married woman at the time, dealing with that transition, trying to make my way in the industry. So anytime I felt overwhelmed, I would go and see her. We'd sit down on her living room floor. I would vent, and she would give me insight. She would give me direction. So on this particular day, I had it up to here. I think I had been rejected, or another role, a role that I was so sure I was going to get had gone to somebody else. And I had, I was just so done. I was up to here. So I called her and I said, okay, I need to come see you, blah, blah, blah. Come now. And I go to her office and I'm sobbing. My eyes are red. There's mucus coming down. I'm tired. I'm done. As far as I'm concerned, I made the wrong choice. What am I even doing here? It's been 2 years now. And, she had this way of just letting you talk. And she was sitting on her armchair chewing gum. I don't know if she used to chew white PK Wrigley's gum, that small. And she was tapping her armchair. So, go and rest your feet. Oh, no. I said, what do you mean? So what do you mean? I'm telling you.
I'm telling you my life
so go and
problems.
rest
You're telling me
so
to
they have
rest.
not started playing your music. I haven't started playing your music. When they start playing your music, you go dance tired. It's not your time. Go and rest.
You even tell them to calm down. Let me finish this
Say,
dance.
go and rest. Go and rest your feet. It's not your turn to dance. The industry is not ready for you.
Do you feel like you experienced any discrimination, even colorism? I'm very curious because I feel like now.
Funny enough, I don't know if it was being blind. Until you know a thing is a thing, you don't know it's a thing.
Definitely.
You just, or whether to say I have been fortunate to navigate I don't know if it's fortunate is a word. I have navigated life pretty much, if this is where I'm going and this is what I want to attain, those setbacks on the way are setbacks. I
Mm.
very rarely do I stop to analyze and say
This is what this is.
and give it a name. Or
Mm.
it's a setback. How do we get over,
Overcome.
around, under, past it? Has been my mindset. But there was one particular incident, and that was so blatant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you couldn't call it any else. I had been selected to shoot a commercial, and it was a commercial for a bank, and we had pretty much gone through the rigors and everything and everything and everything. And I don't know where exactly the personnel came from. Maybe the personnel repping the ad agency or something finally shows up on set when I goes, "Where's the model?" And the director points. I said, "That's my model," and they look at me and like, "Yeah, that's not what they were." Then they go off and they have this whole argument and blah 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 blah. But this was a much more experienced director, and he dug his heels and he said, "Well, I've chosen my model. She was chosen for a reason, and when you're ready to go, we will shoot. I'm not about to change." So I did ask him what the problem was. I said I shouldn't mind them, Jerry. That he said they were expecting, your typical light
Hmm.
skinned model at the time, and yet, we're not going to deny that there was a time in this country where you had to be light skinned
Well, do
to
you?
I feel like
yes.
think
we are still in that time. I'm sorry
No,
too.
I think I'm without trying to diminish whatever experiences you may have had. We've
Mm.
come a long way. At least today you can look up and you can see dark people.
some sort of inclusivity.
See, okay.
You will see dark people on
Mm.
billboards. You see them on commercials. You see them in films. You see them. They have representation way more
Better than
than
definitely where we're
way
coming
better
from.
than when where we're coming
Do
from.
you think that with like each generational shift, they're like now back then the standard was like, you had to be light skinned. I sort of feel like with each shift of a generation, there are some standards that
Mhm.
okay, back then it was light skin, or now it's not necessarily light skin, but because we have all kinds of like color inclusivity, but there's another standard now. Like I said, I don't act, I'm not a director, I'm not a producer, but I will give my perspective as the audience who like is the end market and the end
Mhm.
goal to watch and enjoy this. Now I told you I watch a lot of Nigerian movies, to be honest. Box office movies on YouTube. I just go open my Kindle, I sit down and I'm watching and adding this one to my watch later list and all of that. But with a lot of new Nollywood movies,
Mhm.
not necessarily the ones that go to like theaters or streaming platforms, but like just regular consumption on YouTube or,
Mhm.
yeah. And I noticed that there's a certain stereotype, a certain body type. Let me just
Mhm.
call it what it is, to be honest.
I was
It
waiting for
feels
you to
like,
get
yes,
there.
it feels like a lot of people have, if you don't have a BBL, if you're not this kind of light skin, if you don't have this type of look,
Mhm.
there are even literally movies that are titled like on YouTube, BBL Baddies or The City Girls or this and that. And minus, like, I get that, okay, it's for this particular movie. I get that. But then generally, or it could just be maybe me saying this, it just feels like there are certain roles, not even certain roles, people just have to look a particular way to do this. Because I had somebody told me about a conversation had like she had with this person. Oh, she's like, I'm saving up for a baby. I'm like, why? She's like, oh, she wants to go into the movie industry. And the person is like, why? What does you like having a BBL do with like entering the movie industry? And she's like, that she feels that, or from what she's seen and what she's heard, if you don't look this particular way, you're not going to get any in.
Let me tell
Or
you why that is a fallacy, and while I want to be careful because this is also a teachable moment. Um, two truths can
can coexist.
coexist. It can be something that they've told themselves is a necessity because you have seen a particular example and that's what you're designing yourself against. We need actors of all shapes and sizes. Are we telling enough stories that include this? That's a different conversation. But to say that you want to go into the acting industry and therefore you need to go and do BBL, that's something
That's a you problem.
that's a you problem. You've bought into some sort of stereotype and some sort. And then tell me, can a BBL body shape type person? This is not about the body shape. Is it every single role that type of body type can play? Uh-huh. As I said, if we're talking about core acting, we need tall people, short people, light people, dark people, old people, young people. If I want to tell a story about big-bodied people, am I
You're going to
going
use
to
it.
get her
Yeah, no, of
and
course not.
It doesn't
do
make
you
sense.
Yeah.
get? So my message to you, if what you're going for is an acting career, just present yourself, the best version of yourself, whatever shape or size. A role for you exists. It might take longer than others. We all had to wait. All of us. We will all wait our turn, whether we like it or not.
Could I
Yeah.
ask? Oh,
Yes.
sorry. What challenges have you personally experienced? Like, I know you mentioned about the commercial now, but do you feel like what have you experienced and how did you overcome? Because
I had to learn how to accept rejection. I had to lose my sense of entitlement. We all tend to feel like, yeah, but I'm hot. I have talent. So there are other people who have talent. Um, that was a big that for I had those are the two major things. They were all things I needed to learn. I needed to do a mind adjustment. We tend to feel entitled. What are the waiting? Learning to be
You have to be
patient,
patient. Yeah.
learning to wait. And learning to remain gracious while I wait. There's also that. Because attitude ruins a lot of things.
do you have any regrets?
Career wise?
General, like, do you feel like there's any actor that maybe because you just mentioned attitude, and I feel like sometimes it's subjective. You could have a bad day, and that bad day can come across as bad attitude on that day.
So
that you
what?
make.
Yeah. So when you wake up the following morning and realize that, oh, okay, yesterday I was having a bad day, but I was badly behaving and I took it out on people. Did you go and apologize and explain yourself, or did you just flick your hair and say, oh yeah, I'm a superstar and everybody has to deal with it? Take accountability. We all have bad days. Sometimes, I mean, working on a production set is it's like working in a greenhouse. It's hot, it's stuffy. There are times we will get on each other's nerves, but I'm not too big to apologize.
To apologize.
If I snap at you unjustly, sometimes even justly, I will apologize for my
Alternative.
for the way I communicated
Until they say,
my
yeah.
displeasure, because it is a workplace. You're not my kid. I'm not your mother. It's not even an age thing. You don't work for me. We're colleagues. So there should be mutual respect. Do we always comport ourselves the way we would like to? No, because we're human. You got hot, you got tired. Maybe I'd said the same thing to you 5 times before and I have to say the 6th time. Sixth, my braces are getting in the way. 6th time and we snap, we irritate each other. It's just, come on, just once we can respect ourselves, it will be fine. We can fix anything.
I like that.
You
So
spoke.
sorry.
You spoke about like being a late bloomer, and that's one thing. That's one question that I want to ask. So recently, on social media, there's this Hollywood actress that's in her. I was talking to Shaya about it. That's in her late 40s, and recently, like a teaser for a movie came out, and she was given the role of being a grandma, and there was a lot of backlash. Like, why this woman is someone that just 5-7 years ago is acting like a hot girl in this movie, and how many years down the line you're giving her this role. And then lots of people in the comments are talking about how it's very sexist against women. And then basically I think the question I want to ask is about like the ageism in the entertainment industry generally, because you have people like Denzel Washington who are like older than they were back then, but they're still giving roles to acts that, are really active. Let's even like sort of bring it down to Nigeria. We had like recently RMD in Black Book. And I mean, yes, he
Even then.
embodied the role. He embodied the role. But today, or back then, he would act, I don't want to say hot boy roles, but he would act roles for that age that were age appropriate at that time. But even now, he's still acting roles that could be considered age appropriate then, but still age appropriate now. But it feels like with women, it's as you get older in the entertainment industry, there's a box that's like, oh, they are trying to fit women into that. It doesn't apply to men. You can see a man being given the role to act like a CIA spy or some type of agent, and he's doing this whole gymnastics and he's doing everything. But it's like, women, oh, we just want to give you this role, take and be in this box. Do you think that, or what are your thoughts on that basically? Do you think it's more ageist towards women, the entertainment industry in general?
Again,
Subjective.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. If I was gonna put the word is not blame. We're not blaming anybody. What stories are out there? What stories are being told? Did you write a story? Did you write a black book type story and create a female character in RMD's one? You didn't find an actor to play it. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you create a character, if you write a story, that was what part of the reason why 50 was so great. Nobody had ever thought to, not since Mirror and the Sun, I think. Maybe I stand to be corrected. Did anybody think to write a story and portray women of 50 in that light?
No, romanticize that life. Yes.
Exactly.
And
So what stories abound? So maybe if we tell different stories, maybe if we have diverse writers who are capable of writing for
To cater to
older,
every experience.
maybe we won't have these problems.
Now, so sorry, real quick. Let me just ask this one because it's a bit more recent now. We spoke about like Offset. We spoke about acting a role too well to the point where people see you in that light when you come outside. Now, I won't lie. I love you a lot, but Madam Koi Koi, wow, wow.
Thank you.
No, you killed.
Thank you.
No,
That
you
means
killed.
I did my job
you
well.
did. You did.
Thank
You. I don't know. It's like there's something to give after like 100 rating. I think you did that, to be honest, because at every point in time I was triggered, which was, I think that was what it was supposed to be, because this is the role that you're acting, and I'm just like,
that
I
kind
gotta
of
take a breath.
that kind
had
of
me in my feelings.
and I know
In
that
my
even the actor
feelings.
Lashe, well, that's what I know him as. I know that some people accosted him on the
in
beach
real life.
and they're like, apologize. Like, I was
In
just
that
acting, bro. I'm
movie.
sorry. I'm
Nigerians need to
sorry.
get a grip. But characters like that, roles like that are an actor's dream, because then they're meaty. Then you can show your range. Then you can play. Acting is like a muscle. You want to exercise it. Yes, I've done the posh lady. We've done that. We've seen that several. Give me something different. Something. It was challenging. The moment I was given the script, and I read her, my reaction was, I hate her. I can't stand her. I really, really hate her, but I'm going to play her.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to play it for everything it was. I thoroughly enjoyed playing that
No,
character.
I could
Thoroughly.
no, we enjoyed watching you play that character. I mean,
If
like there
I'm-
was a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. If
Ready?
I'm honest, I didn't like when I was watching it. I was like, "Who is she? Like, who are you?" And like when I watched 50, it's a completely different. Even when I watched
Exactly.
like, so I'm upset. I just remembered my uncle, and you are a nun as well. So I was like, why is it always the church? Like, I would like you. Like if they say
Thank
there's
you.
OGs of levels, like I feel like someone like you is a very good role model for anybody that wants to get into acting. Like, especially you've produced, you've written, you've even like you've hosted. But I think your range, and I feel like unless you really watch movies and series, it will be hard for people to realize how different your range is. Even
Thank you
your role
very
from
much.
50 and like Wedding Party, both mothers, completely different. And
I've been
Let's not
lucky.
bring that one there.
I've been trusted with some really, really great characters.
Do you ever get backlash in like real life over the characters
All the
that you
time, and
act?
I want them all. In fact, these days I've been known to give caveats, so I will shock you before the film shocks you, and be like, "It is a character, so spare me your sanctimony. I am playing a character."
role.
As people talk, but I'm I'm very well grounded in who I am and what this profession is all about. It's my job, it's what I'm paid to do, and I would do it to the very best of my ability. If I have any concerns about taking up a role or executing or if I have any concerns about the execution of a role, I won't take it at all. If I take it, I will do it to the hilt.
Mm.
Do you think that there are roles or scripts that you would say, okay, let's say, do you think there are characters that you wouldn't play?
Yeah, sure.
What wouldn't you play?
I don't know till I read the script.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with love scenes or nudity, blah, blah, blah. For instance, if you expect me to go nude in a film, the script will have to justify it. Do you understand? If it was for sheer sensationalism and clickbait, absolutely not. But if you're telling a story of rape or abuse or something and there's something required, I'm sure we can work some middle ground where you can achieve the level of realism that is required. And more to that, like I said, whatever objections as a professional actor, whatever objections you have it, about executing a character or role should be discussed beforehand, not while you're on set. You read the script, you knew what was required. What are you on about?
Let's talk investor participation in the entertainment industry. Obviously, Nollywood has been, like I said, that Nigeria is like the giant of Africa in many things. And I feel like in Africa, because when I go to like YouTube to watch movies and stuff like that, I see a lot of, oh, hi, I'm from Angola. Hi, I'm from Barbados. Hi, I'm from South Africa and I'm watching this movie. But now, according to like recent developments, we found out that big streamers, like big streaming platforms, let's put Netflix as an example now, still invest more in South African movies than they do in Nigerian movies. And now everybody knows Nigeria. Like if you're talking Nigeria entertainment industry, before even music, there was Nollywood. I was watching a foreign film and I saw an OG Nigerian actor in the movie. And this is like an old proper movie. I saw Olu Jacobs in a foreign, like a US series. And I'm just like, wow, we have thespians with years and years and decades of experience. And it would raise eyeballs definitely, because I'm not trying to like compare, like they're investing more in South African movies and they're investing in Nigerian movies. But according to numbers and statistics, Nigerian movies are doing better. We're topping the charts. You go on Netflix, they release the Nigerian movie today on Netflix or on Prime on Showmax, and it's number one for months on end. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that...
First of all, I cannot speak on that because I do not have empirical proof of what you've just said.
Okay.
I do not know that to be the case.
I love the way you just said that. That was so professional.
No, I'm not even being tongue in cheek. I don't know that to be the case. And let's even hypothetically speaking, let's say that is the case. I would ask why. Not of them. I'll do the research. If that is truly the case. Production for production, and by that I mean if we're talking about productions that meet the same level of what's it called, the same quality, same budgets and whatever, I would be curious as to know why. Do you understand? It's a valid concern, but I cannot speak on it because I do not have empirical proof that that is the case, and I do not have enough information
to speak on. I respect that.
I have a not personal question, but you spoke about when you started your career, you always had a job. So financially, you're always good. And then your acting money was kind of like, the extra ceremony on top.
It wasn't extra. It was a large chunk of it. And it started coming in trickles before it came in a lot.
So now, and you've lived a lifestyle. How would you suggest to people who want to enter the industry how to... I don't want to say manage their money, but how would you suggest that?
Let me tell you how to manage your money, and this is where it gets real. I wish I had been more financially literate at the time. And this is not just for actors, but more so for actors because our jobs are so insecure. There's no guarantee. Do you understand? And by sheer statistics, you cannot always be the flavor of the month. It will be somebody else's turn. Do you understand? So if you even Google, if you go and do your research about the acting profession, it is written there that you're going to spend a large chunk of your working life unemployed.
Mhm.
So it makes perfect sense that you become financially literate, and not only know how to make earn money, but learn how to keep and invest it
Mm.
for that rainy day, for
Because it
those
will
days
come.
where your phone isn't ringing. And what you're supposed to do is that when you build your celebrity to a certain point,
Mhm.
what can you do? What else can you do with it?
Mhm.
What added value? What value can you add that you can now extract um, profit from?
From
Mhm.
I see a lot of
Do you
like
get?
celebrity influencers these days
Exactly.
going
Models
into
and
Do you
having
want to
their
things.
own
write a book? Do
shows.
you want to
Yes,
do your own celebrity headline? Are you make what? You have all this influence. You
Mm.
you
do you
can't just
understand?
live
How
it
are
on
you
one stream.
translating it? And then three, you must diversify your wealth.
Mm.
So get an education. And we're so lucky. We're so lucky that we live in times where there's no information that you require. If you scroll on Instagram long enough, there's somebody answering the questions
Definitely.
right there.
You can go to
There,
TikTok or YouTube.
there's somebody answering those questions. So as an actor, sis, bros, once you begin to earn money, make it a habit to set something aside. And this is where how much are they paying us? If you can't set aside, you can't.
Mm.
As soon as you're able to, remove something from something, but it's a muscle. If saving is like a muscle, um, you have to actually learn how to do it. Do you get? Learn how
Mhm.
not to blow everything in one go. Save it, set it aside. You go to grow small, 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 small. You'll be seeing it, and once you've built up a nest egg, you can now begin to look into investments. But you do need to show up your finances for that rainy day. It's very important.
I think piggybacking off of what Shayo said about like finances and like being in the entertainment industry, I know that recently there's sort of been like a resurgence of a lot of actors and actresses falling really ill and needing to like crowdfund on
Mhm.
social media. And when I go through these things, I hear some comments or I see some comments where people are saying, well, this is the celebrity lifestyle. Like
Mhm.
you're posting this, you're posting that. A lot of people have this impression that once you enter this industry, you're rich, you have money,
Mhm.
you've made
Mhm.
money. So number one, there's that. So people are like, oh, why are you this and that? And then also people are now asking, because I think prior to this, we spoke about, like the Actors Guild, and apparently there's like an Actors Guild, a Directors Guild, a Producers Guild. And then we want to know, okay, what is the structure? What structures are in place? Because if you look outside of Nigeria, you know that, okay, in this establishment here, I know that even like insurance schemes that people do, that you pay like premiums under this, like these bodies have like insurance schemes for people. You pay your
Mhm.
premiums. It's part of like you being in a union or something that, okay, if you ever fall ill, if you ever fall sick, these are the things that we handle. So now I want to look at like the structure in Nigeria, because this week, this is happening. There's only so much crowdfunding that can be done. It's not particularly sustainable
Mm.
because there will always be another person to help out. So
Mm.
it's like, what structures are in place, especially for veterans in the industry? Because speaking of, there was this movie that Jim Mike did, Bad Comments, and in the movie, there was a part of the movie where he lost all his fame and had to meet with old actors and actresses. And then they really even speak in the movie, like movie plot, they're talking about how, oh, once you're falling off, is this and is that. They had to form their own union. And it's like, what are the measures? What are the, what structures are there for sustainability of like people's careers, number one, people's health? Because I know that it takes a lot from you as an individual. Like acting takes a lot. Like you said, it was a role that you hated the character for Madame Kwekwe, the nun. You hated the character, but you had to do it. And whether or not we know it, these things actually take like a subconscious toll on you. There was
Mhm.
somebody I know that went into like an actor, I've forgotten, a foreign actor, that apparently did his role so well, he had to come out and seek therapy because of how he like
Yeah.
immersed he was in that role. So it's like, okay, number one, what structures are in place for people in the entertainment industry? Also, how does the entertainment industry or the unions or the guilds in the entertainment industry, what are they doing to really protect or secure the lives of these actors and
All right,
actresses?
you said quite a bit. First, let me say that nothing will wipe out your savings like a terminal illness. especially in Nigeria.
Hmm.
God forbid. Nothing will wipe you out and I want to believe that coming out in the public is the very, very last resort. Nobody wants to do
Most
that.
of the time, definitely yes.
It's you know where you have to be for you
To ask.
to ask. What are the structures? I know that they have health insurance in place, had or have. How extensive is it? You know, there are different um levels, different categories of health insurance, and I think it's up to the individual to pay for whatever they can afford, and that's not from any place of pride or arrogance. So if you ask me what structures have I put in place to protect myself, there's insurance. I think every actor should try and be insured to
Yeah,
some
everybody should be
degree.
insured, to be honest.
To some degree, to the degree to which you can afford. And knowing that nobody's going to look after you or look out for you the way you will look out for yourself. So yeah, what was the other question? There were like plenty inside
I'm
there.
so sorry. But I
There
think
were
that was,
plenty.
I think you've answered the gist of it
Yes.
all, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't know. Talking on the guild is a dicey thing because it sounds like criticism, and you were asking me way back before we came on. I'm like, you don't criticize from outside the club. Do you understand? If you feel that there's a better way to do things, you join and you make your contributions.
Just to bring everyone up to date, there is Actors
There's
Union.
there's an actor guild. There's an Actors Guild of Nigeria, AGN. There's a Directors Guild. I know that there's a guild for producers as well.
Okay.
But hey, talk about let's even talk about a larger problem. It will be, you as an actor, you get paid a fee. It's only in recent times that conversations about residual pay I even being had, and that's not across board. That's with the big productions. I mean, very big productions. And how many of those do you see every day? That's one. There's also, what is a back end payment? I mean, back end is something that you get after profit has been made. Okay, how do you make profit if you're dealing with issues like piracy? Do you understand? So there's so many things that need to be put in place. So many loopholes that need to be plugged. If you deal with piracy and a producer can make maximum profit off of the art, then you can begin to talk about residual. We can begin to have
those
serious conversations about residual pay. But these are hard conversations. That we are yet to have.
I wanted to ask now, because I'm speaking on like residual pay, because we're sort of having a conversation about like royalties in the music industry, and it's like, okay, now, because I know that there's some movies that are made not for streaming platforms but gets like adopted by streaming platforms or get absorbed by streaming platforms. Like now, you can randomly like make a movie, have it in theaters, and it's just there for a while. Then after, okay, a streaming platform says, I want to buy this movie, I want to put it on there. So I don't understand. Like, how would that work? As an actor, would you be entitled to, will we say, royalties of some sort if the movie goes onto a streaming platform? Because
it will depend on what you negotiate and who you negotiate with. Yeah, it depends on the individual. And then, let's be honest, if you're playing a minor role or an extra, nobody's going to have those conversations with you. If you're a big name, it depends on your ability to negotiate. And, yeah.
Would you always say that if given the chance, you should negotiate for pay and royalties, or just simply like pay out?
It will depend on the project. It would depend on the project. If you're working on a project that is commissioned, um, no, I don't want to mention any names of any platforms. There are platforms who buy lock, stock, and barrel, so there's nothing to share. Do you understand?
Yeah.
We have commissioned you. We're paying you to go and produce 13 episodes, so everybody is going to earn a salary,
yeah.
including you, the executive producer. And once it's done, you hand over to the project to the person who has paid for it. There's nothing to share. Do you understand? But if it's quite different from, I'm producing a project out of my own pocket, for instance, and I say to you, okay, I'm producing this with the intent of selling it to a big streamer. So I'll pay you this upfront, and should it make it to thus and thus a platform, or
This is what
do we
comes to
sell it
you
for
from there.
for this or this or this?
Yes.
This is what you're getting. That's a different conversation. So each situation is unique. It depends on who is negotiating what and with whom.
Would you say overall that Nollywood actors are paid well?
Nobody's paid well in Nigeria. Very few people are paid well in Nigeria. It's a Nigerian thing. The word, it's relative. You can't ask me that question. Because the answer would be selfish, and I cannot speak for the collective.
Okay.
Do you get? And even then, are the fees comparable to what obtains in other places? No, they're not. So it's a very awkward question to answer. Do you understand? It's a very awkward question to answer.
I want to ask you, as a producer and a writer, you spoke about how, when she was talking about roles or women being boxed, ageism in a certain box. Do you feel like, as a producer and a writer, do you feel like you write enough for what you want to see? Do you feel like you write roles for women, empowering roles or entertainment roles? Do you feel like, maybe I'm going a bit into a feminist vibe here, and like I said, I feel like you are an OG. Do you feel when you write, you intentionally try to create roles to empower
My answer
women?
to that is yes. This year I had the opportunity of writing, producing, and playing in a 13-part series that I created for Africa Magic, The Hidden, and it was a very woman-centric story, and it spoke about women issues, and it had strong female characters, and we dealt
I've seen a couple of episodes on Showmax.
The Hidden. So yes,
Is that
my
some-
projects will always have strong female characters, always.
I think it just goes in line with what you've basically told us about. Yeah, if you see a problem, don't criticize from outside the box.
Fix it
Go
now.
there and fix it.
Can you write the type of story you
Stories
want to see? Do you have ideas that can strengthen an organization? Share them, which I will. But I believe in operating from a place of personal strength when you have the most to offer, and
No, because tying in conversations that we even had offset so that people don't feel left out. Let's talk about old Nollywood and new.
I don't like those
Nollywood.
terms. I never said that. I don't like that.
No.
I know when we say old
Early.
and new.
Yeah.
I get what you mean,
Okay.
but it's been used in such controversial terms. So it sounds like there's a divide. I think what we're witnessing is a mix of the old and new. And for those, and we can't, but ask your questions. Last thing I'm going to say before you ask your questions is that we have to evolve. There has to be new wine.
What's that Bible verse?
For us to attain our best potential, we will have to combine forces.
I think when I say like old Nollywood and old, I probably mean like I'm coming from
Older
the place of the
films.
time. Yeah, I'm looking at the eras of like then and now, because I think based for me, like my own generation, old Nollywood movies will be movies like from 2000 down to like, for me, 2000 down till about maybe 2014, 2010 ish. Then like newer movies would come up then. So I don't mean it in terms of this
This
is like
generation,
comparing. Yeah, I just
yes,
mean it's like in terms of
fantastic.
time. That okay, yes, movies, this and that you would watch here and there. And you said it that we have to evolve. There are lots of things like that happened back then. Like when we spoke about these types of scenes being in movies, and I basically said that I think it's also like a generational shift because people question certain plots and stories that we have now, and they think it's like a foreign influence. And I don't necessarily think it's a foreign influence. I think, like you said, it's just evolution. Things that obtained back then are not necessarily what obtains now. And if it's also the same place that if we still do the things we're doing back then, is people need to evolve beyond what you're doing. You people need to grow between what you're doing. So what have you enjoyed? Because you've been a part of the evolution process. You've been in the process. You are the process, because like you said, the roles that you had back then or roles that you've acted, whether as an extra or a supporting character or as a main character, are quite different from like roles that you would have now. And then you've seen the things that happen even behind the cameras. Obviously, crew, things that happen, like the cameras that were being used back then, the level of production quality and things like that are different. So what have you enjoyed most about the evolution process as a director, as a producer, as a writer, as an actress, as
First, I think the thing that excites me the most is the abundance of new talent out there. A lot of the people I used on my show were relatively unknown, and they can play. Kilude. We have, there's so much talent out there. So much talent out there. The newness, the it's almost like being given permission to try something different, and go out on a limb and do a bit more, break out of the stereotype. So the opportunities are limitless. And then you have young people whose brains are sharp. They're not burdened with everyday life and living. Yeah, let's try this, let's do this, let's that. Art should be vibrant. It should evolve.
I like that.
I feel like you're one of the people that when we look at Nollywood, we can't not talk about you. Like it's
sweet.
not,
That's it.
and I'm not even trying to, as I said, I'm not trying to whine you. I'm just like,
Wine me,
but like when I
Thomas.
think of Nollywood, like you're definitely somebody that comes up there. Like I say, even the roles you play, like, and you've had shows, you have so much, and you've evolved. Like you've been part of this evolution, as she said. And I'm just like, okay, you're still in the evolution. It's not like Nollywood is going to end today. After today it's over. No, you are still in the evolution and you're still evolving. And I'm so curious to see in the next decade what else you evolve into, what else you write, like how we even, even this script that you're talking about with the women and everything. I'm so curious next 5 years, how else will you pursue women? How else would you write about us? How else would you create roles for us? Like, are we now, like, there's so, and
representation,
like not even just that too, but also things like so many things are happening in the world. Like, I mean, we've been through, let's just even say for coronavirus, we've been through that. We've been through NSARS here. We've had, even this year, we spoke about musical death, a lot of influences, being African giants, the pressures of, we talked about mental health. We talked about so many things on our platform. And I'm thinking someone like you who's had an actual world, decades of experience in life, in acting, as you evolve, and as Nollywood evolves, I'm so intrigued into what else you will bring into it. Like, I'm honestly like, and it's, I don't know how if I'm articulating myself properly, but like,
I hear you loud and clear. One thing's for sure, I'd like to, my main vision is just giving a platform to relatively unknown talent to shine, because that was part of, that was a mainstay of how I got my big break. People taking a chance on me. Okay, let's see what she can do. And like I said, there's so much talent out there. By and by, get more deeply involved with the guild. I've been in hot pursuit of self-development. You can't contribute unless your own cup is full. So get more active, get more involved with that. See how we can make things better for the people coming after us.
I feel like that's
as
our
we come
Christmas
to
message.
as we come to like the end of the episode, I would like to ask for people watching out there, young actors and actresses and people who want to enter, who see you as okay, I know we're talking about some role model, but who people
Role
who
model
see
is
you
a
as
big word, though.
yeah, people who see you as okay, I want to emulate what she has done. I want to get here. I want to get here.
I want to be a star.
What would you advise them like getting in? And it's one thing to get in, and it's one thing to
Stay.
remain relevant. Like you said, you will not always be the like you might not always be the hot topic of this month. Like, okay, this is the hot face of this month, might not be the hot face of like next month. So what advice would you give them to like remaining like entering and being relevant and staying relevant?
Well, first of all, get an education. I don't know. I said get an education. I did not say you have to have a university degree.
Yeah.
Second, be sure that this is what you want to do. Be sure you have the talent to do it. Approach it like a job. Be a professional. Let your professional integrity speak for you. When you're working. Get a side hustle so you have extra income and you can say no when you need to. Be a team player. Let your name be synonymous with excellence. When she's on set, she gives 110%. She's a team player. Find ways to make the job easier. Being a star doesn't mean having a bad attitude. No. That I often advise that actors should, have some inkling of what it takes to produce something. When you see the amount of infrastructure and logistics that go into creating your story world, you would have a greater appreciation for the people behind the scenes. Be diligent in your work. I always try to do more than is required. That's like investing in your goodwill bank. And with all of that, stay thankful. Be happy for others. Wait your turn. You should do well. I never take your craft for granted.
Definitely.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you for blessing us.
So yeah, I'm
I'm
not
going to say again. Okay, don't worry. We'll say it afterwards because when we cut, we will say it.
Okay.
But then
I'm looking at Madam Producer.
Yeah.
Why is producer staring at me? What have I done, Wanu?
I want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity. Thank you for
Thank you.
This is your first podcast
My
ever.
first. I have a healthy pair of podcasts.
Thank you.
Did
Shout
we-
out to
I
the
did- I
team
hope we made it such a
production.
safe space
It-
for you,
it-
and
it
we've
was
changed
a
your
safe-
view on
No, I
podcast,
won't.
or
I
giving
won't
you a
be.
different view.
I'm glad this is my first one. It was painless. I've had a wonderful time.
We've had an
Thank
absolutely
you.
wonderful
You have no
time with
idea.
you.
Thank you for educating us.
Thank you for spending Christmas
Yeah.
with us because
Thank you.
yes, this
Thank you.
is
So
This
now
is
we
my
go home and
Christmas
continue
gift.
with the rice and stew.
The
very
enjoyment
I'm
plenty.
going to eat
galore.
potatoes and turkey and stuffing.
Where's your house? Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Shaya's house is where it's at.
Let's go now.
Are we going to have eggnog too as well? Let's just bring the
that's
whole
fine.
It's a complete
Eggnog.
thing.
everything.
though.
Let's just bring everything
I've never
down.
had it before, actually.
Are you for real?
I think it's an American thing. I've never
Yes, an
seen
American thing. I had
mean,
it first in the
we
US.
don't have eggnog. Goose fat, yes. Goose fat potatoes.
Goose
Piggies in a
fat.
blanket. Yeah.
Oh wow,
We'll have a
nice.
good time.
Well, we're going home to jollof rice and
Jollof
fried
rice,
chicken
ma, and then pounded yam
and
for real.
coleslaw.
And
Oh,
coleslaw
goodness.
and cold drink. So yes, I hope everybody out there is having an absolutely wonderful
Yes.
Christmas. I hope this episode makes your Christmas even better. And yeah, happy holidays. Thank you for watching Terms and Conditions.
Take care.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Double.